Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. Breaking news, good day for the US, not so good for the UK. This morning, live on the show, and all day today, it's members only day. We're doing your reviews, your requests all day live today, members only, right after our breaking news story. What are we talking about this morning? UK inflation up. How does that benefit the US? How does it affect those in the UK? Let's get straight to it. Tap the like button, consider subscribing if you like this breaking news. It's a big day today on the markets because we've seen a surge in the UK inflation. Now all eyes will be on Jerome Powell, the chair of the Fed in the United States. He hasn't reduced rates for this very reason. Reducing rates too soon can send the markets straight back down and inflation comes straight back up. We don't want that. So, how will this affect the UK? We've got a live feed here from the UK just a few moments ago. Inflation is surging once again. Rates are up and we've got to now look to the Fed to turn on the money printer. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this news. It's a big day on the markets today. This is a surprise inflation jump. Let me bring you the news right now. Let's get straight into it. Here we go. Inflation surges after awful April bill hikes. Is this a one-off payment? We've now got Keir Starmer talking about bringing back the winter fuel allowance, try and help people out. That was taken away. Inflation surged last month to an annual rate of 3.5% according to official figures, which blame hikes to essential household bills. Is it a one-off? Is it part of the deal with the US? Will the US benefit from this? Spoiler alert, the US will. I'll explain why in a minute. It's why I never left the United States when it comes to the stock market, even though I'm clearly from England. Is it the highest? It is the highest level since January 2024 and a bigger jump than 3.3% predicted by economists. It's a huge jump. 0.3 to 0.5 is a huge jump. The Office for National Statistics said the increase, up from 2.6 rate in March, was explained by significant increases in household bills in April. You can see that is quite a sudden uptick. That presents an opportunity for the United States. I'll explain that in a second. You can see it's quite visual. Households on the energy price cap saw a rare spring rise of 6.4% in April, while council tax bills were widely up around 5%. The water regulator allowed suppliers to charge customers an extra £10 a month on average across England and Wales, while broadband, mobile and TV licence costs also rose. The Consumer Price Index measures of inflation is closely watched as rising numbers make it difficult for the Bank of England to cut interest rates, raised sharply by the bank from December 21 to tackle the infancy of the cost of the living crisis. There have been 4 cuts since August last year as easing inflation as allowed. In advance of the ONS data, financial markets had fully priced in 2 further interest rates reductions this year, with no change expected at the Bank of America's next rate meeting set in mid-June. Now, this is essential information today because Jerome Powell, let me just get my face in there. Jerome Powell has been accused of being late to the party for not reducing rates. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, has openly spoken about that Jerome Powell is late to the party. He may be late. However, he's data dependent. He's waiting for the right signal. Europe and the UK reduce rates. This is what can happen if you reduce rates too early. If inflation spikes back, more times than not, it goes up and continues to go up. We don't want that in the largest economy in the world, here in the United States. Now, how does this benefit the United States? Well, because when we had tariff fears, people started to sell. You can see that dip there, that V-shaped recovery, because I bought the bottom of the dip. That's why I'm up so much, so quickly. People fled from the United States to buy the UK and to buy all world Europe. They're coming back. They'll be back now because they once again realise that the United States is the stronger economy. It is. It's resilient, and we haven't even reduced rates the way the UK and Europe have. So this will be a massive catalyst into the United States. Now, I've got a few bits of data for you, and I've also got a live feed here as well. So let me bring you a bit more information. First of all, the way it's presented here in the United States. Let me share this with you. If you've not yet tapped the like button, please do, and consider subscribing. We're about to go over to a members day today, all day members doing your stock reviews. It's going to be quite a day. The annual inflation rate in the UK jumped to 3.5 in April 2025, the highest since January 24, from 2.6 in March and above forecast of 3.3. I do have Rachel Reeves ready to go, so stand by for a live feed. The largest upward contribution came from prices for housing and utility, 7.8 versus 1.8. Most electricity, 4.6 versus negative 8.8. And gas, 12.2 versus negative 12%, reflecting the rise in the off-gen energy price cap introduced in April 2025. A modest downward contribution came from the actual rents for housing, which rose by 6.3%, a slower pace compared to 7.2% in March. Additional upward contributions came from transport, 3.3 versus 1.2, influenced by the introduction of vehicle excise duty on both old and new electric vehicles starting in April. That's enough of that, but what I want to do now is bring you a live feed from Rachel Reeves, and you can hear what she has to say. This is not good, and it is good, however, if you want to call buying back into the US a good opportunity for us who are investing in the US. I never left because I know where I want to leave my money. Okay, let's have a quick listen into what Rachel Reeves has to say about this very point. Here we go.
Today are clearly disappointing. We want to see inflation coming down after the cost of living challenges that people have been through this last few years. Clearly we're in a different place to where we were under the previous government, where inflation got into double digits. But we recognise the cost of living is still a challenge, which is why we increased the national living wage, giving a pay rise to 3 million people in April. It's why we're rolling out free breakfast clubs at primary schools to help families with the cost of living, and it's why we froze fuel duty in the budget last year.
But this inflation spike is from costs that people are feeling directly in their pockets. Energy bills, water bills, tax bills, council tax bills. When are people actually going to feel some relief from this cost of living surge?
Well, for the last few months, wages have been rising at a faster level than prices. That is welcome, but I do absolutely get that the cost of living challenges are still the biggest concern that families up and down our country have, which is why we are taking action with the national living wage, with free breakfast clubs, with freezing fuel duty, because I am determined as Chancellor of the Exchequer to help relieve some of that pressure that families have been facing.
I'd like to ask you about this European deal you've done this week. Brexit, some calculations, pushed up food prices 6% or more. Are people going to actually see food prices start to fall because they've risen again in April?
Well, I'm at wholesalers here in West London today, where fruit and veg goes to restaurants, hospitals, cafes, wholesalers all around the country. And what the people here are telling me is that prices have absolutely gone up because of the bureaucracy, but also sometimes when stuff arrives, it's already gone rotten because it's been waiting at the border for so long. And certainly businesses here are telling me that the Brexit
Please tap
deal
the like button. We got breaking
the
news
previous
here
government secured was not good enough, and they welcome the achievement this week in getting this new trade deal with our nearest neighbours and trading partners in the EU, and that should begin to reduce costs of businesses, which can then be passed on to consumers, and that will be very welcome. The whole point of these trade deals, whether it's with the US, with India, or indeed with the EU, is about bringing down the costs of people, bringing more good jobs to Britain, and also securing our defences.
There's a big jump in April. April's figures don't reflect what also happened in April is your policy choices, national insurance increases, which businesses up and down the country and here repeatedly tell us are probably going to drive up costs further. Do you acknowledge your policy choices could add to the inflationary burden, the price pressures on households?
When I became Chancellor last year, I faced a very difficult challenge that there was a £22 billion black hole in the public finances. We had to fix that, and if we hadn't have done, the Bank of England would not have been able to cut interest rates 4 times this last year, which has obviously had a direct effect on the mortgages and the rents that people pay, and also that money that we raised from national insurance, but also cracking down on non-dom tax, VAT on private schools, increasing capital gains, particularly on private equity firms. That money has gone into our National Health Service, which is why waiting lists and waiting times are going down after spiralling out of control the last few years. So I do recognise that all policies have consequences, but if I hadn't have acted to stabilise the public finances, we would be in a worse position today.
The last one. Lots of pressure you've been facing politically and as a party and at the ballot box over the winter fuel decision you made to fix that, quote, black hole. The Prime Minister hasn't ruled out when asked about reversing that decision. Are you willing to think again about the winter fuel cap?
I do recognise the challenges that people continue to face with the cost of living. We have increased the basic state pension and new state pension by up to £470 just last month. That's a policy that the Conservative Party no longer commit to, but the Labour Party, this Labour government, absolutely recognise that we need to continue increasing the pensions that people are paid. So I do recognise the challenges that people face, but that policy stands because it was necessary to stabilise the public finances.
There we go. So we've got this news this morning that the UK inflation has dramatically risen. So this was just a very short breaking news story, taking you now over to a Members' Day. We're going to be live with you all day today, doing a Members' Day, doing all your reviews. I'd like to get through all of them. So I'm going to send you there right now. Let me just click the redirect to the members event. Let me share with you on the screen the members event today. This is where we're going in a few minutes time. If you stay to the end, just a couple of seconds, I will give you the link to this event, but this is where we're going to be all day today, members only. I'll give you the link in a moment so you can become a member of our channel. I will put the link for this event where we're going next in a few minutes time in the chat. There it is. It won't be viewable by general public. It's just a Members' Day, so we can provide you with a Members' Day service all day, doing your charts and analysis and so on. I'm also going to put the event below in the comments of this video. So next, in the description of the video, there we go. It'll take you there now. I'm now going to end this live stream and give you the links at the end. You won't see them right now, but you will in about 15 minutes when this video renders. So there we go. Inflation massive today in the UK. This will benefit the US. I don't mean completely. Nobody wants to see inflation going up for anyone. However, what it means is the people that fled the US are coming back. There's trillions of dollars on the sidelines waiting for the market to reach an all-time high, which it will do at any moment now, and then we'll push through 10% and then we'll go flat for the year. That's a massive opportunity for the United States. We know it's coming. It's why I'm all in, why I went all in on margin and everything else, to be ready for this moment. I want to be in and I want to stay in. So click above my head for all the links. down below in the description. I'll also pin it into the description of where we're going next in a few minutes when this renders. But we're now going over to Members Day all day doing your stock reviews. If you are a member, you can request. We will start with the ones that are already on the list. When I tell you we're getting down the list, then I can move over to new requests. But you're going to get all about your favorite stocks today, new opportunities, things that you should look at using the best software, best analysis, so you can make an informed decision whether you should buy, hold, or sell these new stocks we're going to bring you today. New businesses, new ideas, are always a good idea, and you like these members days, so the general public will not be watching. It will just be for members. If you'd like to be a member, there is the membership link. It'll also be below in the comments of the video and the description, and you can find it down there as well, but it's certainly there in the chat, and this chat will replay later if you're watching this later. This is the current time, 7:49 in the morning. So once again, above my head, down below in the description, I'll pin all these links in the comments in a few moments. Over here, I shall put Members Day, the event that's up next, and down here, something else I think you'd like to take a look at. That's it from me. Thank you very much indeed. Get ready for Members Day. Chance for a quick cup of tea, and I'll be right back to serve you, all our members, all day today on Members Day. Take care of yourselves and each other.